I'm tired of the monster forces. Yeah. Because the monster forces are problematic to my um, saving of Hyrule. There's a kingdom, So monster forces and Ganon, they just got to go from this particular video game realm, or it just has someone has to do it. Someone has to defeat all the monsters in Hyrule, and I've chosen myself to embark on this endeavor. I've chosen I've chosen moi. They think they can keep all the luminous stones for themselves? I don't think so. Kimosabi. Oh, have my flint. Alright, we have a lizard skull outpost here. And, that's not good. Yes. Here we go. Tula will come snuggle later on her pally, unless she's guarding the living room. She sometimes switches from various areas when she's on her puppy patrols to patrol the condominium to make sure everything's there's no intruders at the condominium. Uh, so Tula is really the first line of defense, and I'm the second line because I'm a man. So I'll go confront if there's any intruders in the place. Usually with my, I haven't brought down my steel bat, but though at least that would be the most potent as a blunt force weapon. But I'd probably use, let's say, I'd probably use, um, I'd probably break I'd probably bring my tennis racket if I really wanted to smash people's brains and cause critical injury. Probably hit them in their neck or their face. They would probably raise their hands. So it's probably better to have a blade in that particular scenario. Yeah, most people try to defend themselves if they don't have a weapon. Or they could have a weapon and then like a gun or something like that, and then it would be prudent to knock the gun away as quick as you can. But there would be the chaos of dogs and so forth. So it'd be a pretty chaotic scene. Plus, um, my mother and yeah. So it'd be a pretty chaotic scene all around. But hopefully, if there was ever an intruder, I'd be able to whoop their ass hole, whoop their ass. So tonight's the Mega Millions, $754 million. $4 million. I already said my daily prayer. Oh yes. What would I do? Well, I guess first of all, I just kind of kick it, get the money. Maybe you need some lawyers for something like $230 million or something. Yeah, you might need some legal advice, but my stepfather's an accountant, so there you go. He's a accountant with a full accounting degree. He's not a CPA, but he's pretty close. Knows a lot about accounting. He's been accounting and doing business accounts his whole life. So uh, I don't. Maybe I wouldn't even need a lawyer if I had an accountant. Maybe that would be all I would need. I just need a bean counter, uh, and so that's my stepfather. Hmm. Okay. Ah, yes. What would you do if you had a lot of money? Yeah, travel. But first, there is this place is over 40 years old. The place I love so much, my neighborhood, and it's under siege by people, outsiders from Michigan and places that are not from Texas, and queers and all kinds of different kinds of people that are trying to take control of the place and control the pool and control the tennis courts and control the community areas. and it's just ridiculous. What I would do first? I would get the pool reopened and maybe even reintroduce a hot tub. I would try to get the pool hours to be from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. so that people could not come and rabble rousers that were outsiders and throw parties at the pool overnight while people are sleeping and stuff and cause disturbances in there. All right. Then I would remake the tennis courts. Basically, I would take the old 1980s schematics and basically just do the same thing over and over again. I mean, over again, but like do it new. So just refresh everything basically. Maybe make some enhancements, but not too much because you don't want to tear too much down because the trees and everything are you have to keep those pristine. So I'd use some of my money to invest in the neighborhood, even if I wouldn't live here ultimately. If I had, say, why enhance it um, if you're not going to live here that much, or buy another house or move somewhere else? I would keep my childhood home as a museum, is the point. So I make my neighborhood like kind of a museum, but kind of a living museum. So, so that would be my plans if I could do those. Yeah. Uh, I would totally revamp our condo, make it really spiffy and really nice. New garage, new air conditioning system, new ducts, new everything pretty much. I do new everything. Yeah. Oh, hi. All right. So I'd make our condo even more beautiful than it already is. Probably get some new tech, some new video games. Maybe try to enhance, get into Nintendo and Nintendo games and collections. You know, um, transfer all the VHS into digital form, all the old movies, and get it on file. And I'd have to. I really like to consolidate the space that all the VHS tapes take, or at least put it to use. So, and of course, I'd like to do some traveling, maybe some worldwide. Do some traveling that's kind of scary, like international travel, kind of adventurous, kind of scary, kind of pulse pounding a little bit, just something a bit exciting. Yeah, I think maybe the biggest travesty of the income inequality gap, or just in general, the greatest travesty of the major nations is that most people don't travel outside the borders very much, and it's like one of the biggest travesties in modern society. Whether it's China, whether it's America, um, it's just a travesty all around. I think we should improve our international travel mechanisms. Yes, maybe create an international nexus of travel that connects all countries. Got it. The skull chest. Yeah. So there was a lot I would do. First, I'd do, some housekeeping, some very serious housekeeping. That could take a few months or even, I doubt an entire year, but that would at least take 2 or 3 months. Just, just to get the neighborhood and the projects rolling and everything. Yeah. Just to get the tennis court and the uh, basketball court rebuilt, just to bring back the hot tub and everything it would take a bit of a while. So to get all that stuff going. This isn't a fantasy. This is in a fantasy world, of course. That I'm talking about. That's if I. Oh yeah. One thing you're supposed to do if you win the Mega Millions is tell no one, because then your enemies and haters would come after you, and that means everybody would know and they would come out after you. Uh, so whether they're a friend or foe, it would be like people you haven't heard from in years would be calling up. Hey, how have you been? Hey, I heard you won the lottery. Hey, times is tough. That kind of shit. Times is tough. Times is rough. Yeah, that kind of shit. Yeah. So we got the three rings. So we got the Lord of the Rings, uh, Lord of the Olympics. Oh, I thought it was just right there. Oh, it's more complicated. You got to complete many circles. Yeah. Okay. You got to complete 3 circles. Man, this is quite the circle jerk. Yeah, guys would just joke about the circle jerk back in when we were teenagers. We never actually did a circle jerk. Men whipping out their ding dongs, masturbating. That never really happened. Uh, that never happened. So, but everybody, all the guys would say, "Hey, what is this? A circle jerk? Hey guys, why don't we have a circle jerk?" And they were just joking around. Yeah, they probably would have thought you were gay if you were like, "Oh, are we gonna have a circle jerk for real?" Oh, okay, everybody whip out their dicks and pull down their pants. Everybody start masturbating in a circle though, because it's called a circle jerk. Yeah, they would be like, "Oh my god, this guy's gay," and then yeah. So that was the funny thing about the guys joking about circle jerk is that like if anybody was like, "Okay, pull down your pants," or if one guy pulled down his pants, they would have been like, Billy, what are you doing?" Roger, what are you doing? Well, you said it was circle jerk time, right? Yeah, but we were just joking. Well, I thought you guys were serious. I thought it was spanking at time. I thought it was monkey spanking time. I thought it was ejaculation time. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't ejaculation time. That was just a joke. Just a joke, Bobby. Bobby? 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 Oh, happy Halloween to everyone. Hope you're having a good Halloween. Oh, yeah, yeah. So it was 2005. I was in Austin, Texas. And, I've always been basically more of a girl watcher than a girl getter. Yeah, unfortunately, I've always been more of a girl watcher than a girl getter. So I've always been like that guy that was like, I've always been that guy that's been like, oh, look at that pretty girl, but I never, go talk to her because, well, I guess it's a combination of inexperience and low self esteem. I guess inexperience and low self esteem, they just kind of go hand in hand, like anxiety and depression or something. They're just like ketchup and fries, in other words. So, but this Halloween, I went to a really, really, really good Halloween party, like an amazing Halloween party. And this guy Hooter, yeah, his name was Hooter. Yep, his name was actually Hooter. This redneck dude, and he had a wife called Tammy, and they had a son. And we went. They threw this bodacious ass Halloween party, and they had a karaoke machine. Their son dressed up like Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith in the black robes and shit with the lightsaber. And then I put on I got an Austin Powers mask, and I was Austin Powers, and I was like psychedelic baby. So this guy Hooter, he was like this big time alcoholic. Like I'm an alcoholic, but like some people, are like mega alcoholics. Like they have like, fucking they drink so many drinks per day. They have like it's not just like they get fucked up sometimes. It's like they get fucked up a lot. Like so much where like they might lose their job or they might lose their wife or they might lose like they get shit faced like so much off tequila and liquor and like hard liquor and shit and their livers are like fucking Swiss cheese and all that shit. Like hardcore. So Hooter was apparently like a hardcore alcoholic, but he was a really nice guy. I went on a few jobs with my uncle's business with him, and then I knew Tammy from the workplace too, and so they were both sweet people and nice. They were pretty nice people, nice couple, and I don't know if that was his son or like his stepson, but Hooter was drunk and all that, and like a hard liquor drunk. So we went over his house, uh, get ready for this Halloween party. He has all kinds of liquor everywhere. He's got tequila, margarita mix. He's got vodka. He's got beer. He's got wine, all of it. And then to my 25-year-old enjoyment, he had put in one of my favorite things that usually I don't see at Halloween parties. People making a lot of hors d'oeuvres, and he put in chicken wings, and I was like, "Oh my god!" This party has everything: it has liquor, chicken wings, tons of people, and the icing on the cake was. I mean, I've been to some Halloween parties that were like, they had an ice slide for shots, and I mean, I've seen a lot of exotic things at Halloween parties, but um, this one was a pretty damn good one out in Austin, Texas. This one was kind of noteworthy, and they had people that knew Hooter. They had people that were related to my aunt and uncle's business, their client's business. There was people, that people who knew people that were just, relatives and friends, and it just kind of all gelled together, right? The party because it was like partially, and the employers knew each other and their friends and families, and then it was people that you didn't know, just extended friends and families, and it had a nice mix. It wasn't a total sausage fest. There were chicks at this party and girls, but not like so many that you were like gonna get laid that night or something. It was just more like people brought their girlfriends and maybe some people had their daughters, and it wasn't like you know it wasn't like you were gonna wake up the next day with a hot chick butt naked necessarily. It's not like the next day you're gonna wake up with your wife or your new girlfriend or something. So the party's happening. There's all these people, in costume. Uh, I'm having fun with the Austin Powers mask. I'm like, Stockadelic, baby. And I kind of go to the party early. I kind of arrive early before it starts getting crazy. Because yeah, I kind of arrive there early and during the daytime, so I kind of beat a lot of other people. Not because I wanted to get drunk real early or anything. It was just that's just how it bounced. And I was invited there early. Yeah, I don't know if I helped set anything up or anything. I don't remember that, but man, better not waste my fucking fire arrows. So there's girls there. I start getting drunker and drunker, but I do eat. I eat some chicken wings, because I don't want to be driving home from the party. Well, I'm gonna stay the night if I've been drinking. So I've already been tagged. I can stay the night. It's fine. Because like my uncle is like this guy's like employer. So I mean I don't know if that's why they're being nice to me maybe, but we're kind of friendly with each other anyway because I've been on a few jobs with Hooter fixing appliances. It's called a second man job. You're not like a established technician. You just help. You just do the monkey work. You just like you spot them. Like you lift up air conditioners or you lift up heavy shit, stuff like that. But you're not really a skilled HVAC or appliance technician or anything. You're not apprentice. You're just you're just the monkey, the grease work, and you're just hired help basically. Like you might go deliver appliances or and like maybe a senator needs a new refrigerator and you go out there and you help another guy install the microwave, the oven, or the refrigerator, or whatever it is. So this party from 20 years ago in Austin, Texas, this Halloween party is fucking jumping, and there's people everywhere. And so when I when Tammy's son, who was kind of younger, he was like 19 or 20, and I was like 25, and I said, "Hey man, that's a good costume." Like as Anakin Skywalker. And he goes, "Hey, dude," he goes, "I'm not gay." And he had like homophobia. And I was like, "Dude, I'm not gay. I'm saying you have it. That's a good costume." And I was like, "That's a good Anakin Skywalker." He goes, "Oh, I'm not gay." And I was like, "Well, I'm not gay either, so you don't have to worry. I'm not gonna touch your butt cheeks or something." So yeah, I hate if I'm like, if some guy's so homophobic, you can't be like, "Oh, hey, that's a nice suit" or something. Not like in a homosexual, homoerotic. I'm just saying like, "Hey, that's a nice costume," or whatever. It's not like gay. So doesn't mean I'm a fag. You want to get jiggy with it? Ooh, I was waiting for you to do that. Oh yeah. Oh man, he really wasted my ass, huh? I might need some stronger armor for this. My fucking shit. My food stash is bad enough as it is. Um, so there were some like cute girls, but they had this one girl. It's always the story of the one girl, huh? It's always like there's this one girl. Yeah, it's always a story like that. And So some people are in costume, some people are not, and there's a karaoke machine in the back. So it's like the kitchen, you can get the booze, and they have the chicken wings and all the good food with the chips and the dip and all that shit. And then like in the living room, people are like ha 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 and like partying. And then outside there's the karaoke machine, and then people are partying in the backyard too. So it's like the living room, like there's the kitchen, and then the living room, and then the door leads outside to like the backyard where they have the karaoke machine in this like cookie cutter like suburban like Austin, Texas neighborhood. Hold that thought, brother. Let me help you out. Maybe he needs some bombs. I think you need to bomb him down. Yes, it was good. Nice. So there's this girl, and she's so cute. She has long legs. She's very sexy. Very, very sexy. And she's hot. But her costume isn't, maybe Wonder Woman wasn't really all that popular at the time. So, necessarily, in 2005. Where? I almost splayed my ass. Mm. Got the Memphis Grace, huh? Yep. Yeah, I used it on that one on purpose, just to die, just to come back to life. Yeah, that's one. Uh oh. That isn't so fun. Nope. Uh, So, this one girl had long legs. She was so beautiful, and she was no shit at the Halloween party wearing a costume with a top hat with her beautiful long hair and beautiful long legs. So cute, baby face. You wouldn't believe. Like very colorful hair, like almost like blonde, like orange, and nice. I wouldn't say like big tits, but like she was a hot girl. She probably had some nice tits too, and she was dressed up for Halloween at this party 20 years ago as Yankee Doodle Dandy with the skirt, and I was like, oh my god, I'd like to Yankee Doodle her dandy. That's for sure. Oh my lord. She might have had a. She probably had a boyfriend. There's no way that girl was gonna be on the market for that long. She was fucking adorable. She was so hot, smoking with that Yankee Doodle dandy. That was just like, oh, America, fuck yeah, yeah. She could have been there with her boyfriend. She looked so young, like she didn't have a husband, probably. So the party was pretty wild. Of course, I wasn't talking to the chicks, not because I was afraid like a guy was going to be like, "Hey, that's my woman." or anything like that. I was just like, you know, the combination of inexperience with women and childhood trauma and all that stuff. So I just never really developed those game skills, and so as other guys did pretty early on. So a guy might develop his chick getting game, from like the minute he hits puberty, he might be developing his game, like you know. So he's not oblivious fool out there like 40-year-old virgin, or like fucking whatever, the guys of the Big Bang Theory and all that stuff, shit like that. So what society tries to do is to not just mold boys into men, but society attempts to mold boys and teenage men into, um, not just adults. It tries to mold them into, as most societies try to mold the men into slaves, like good obedient workers and slaves. Um, but most men take this slavery so they can get access to pussy and to have their own children, and so that's the trade-off. So men are like, oh yeah, I'll take slavery at some crappy job for like 50 years, as long as I get a 401k and like I get laid and I have a few kids, right? Like, so men take the bargain because men take the social contract. As long as they get laid and they're paid and they're happy, that then they take the contract. If men are not receiving the social contract or the benefits thereof, they're like, okay, I'm fucking out. Most men are like, okay, well, I'm gonna throw this society playbook and I'm gonna throw it in the trash and just do my and be a MGTOW, or whatever, incel or MGTOW, or something. So that's when men throw the playbook of society, and throw it in the trash and set it on fire. So take out this Lionel. So the party was wild and crazy, and I was having drunk conversations with people, and out in the backyard, and it was a very lively party, very fun. Everybody had the costumes. Everybody, had some good drinks, some good eats. We got on the karaoke machine. Me and Tammy's son, I forgot his name. We'll just call him Anakin because he was Anakin Skywalker. So I was with Anakin, and the karaoke machine had a dual mic feature. So at 4 in the morning in Austin, Texas, when most of the parties were dying down, we were like shit faced, and we decided to do Queen Under Pressure with David Bowie, and like one of us did Freddie Mercury, and the other was like David Bowie, and like, and this is outside, mind you. This is like in a neighborhood, and there's houses right next door and everything, and we have speakers on this double mic karaoke machine on blast, playing Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie. And I remember, since I was so wasted at 4 in the morning from all the booze, um, that because this guy Hooter had the real deal. He had the hard liquor everywhere. He had the real shit. He had, like the Jameson and the fucking Jim Beam and the Jack Daniels and the vodka. He had, every kind of poison you could imagine, just about. And this guy Hooter was a real alcoholic because he had real shit, and real shit everywhere. And I remember asking, I remember asking Anakin, like wasted after we sang Queen, real loud. And it was like, if anybody was outside having parties of their own or anything, anybody was up at 4 in the morning and they heard us, They were probably fucking, if anybody heard it, they were probably entertained. If YouTube had been around in 2005 and somebody had uploaded that, it probably would have been like the funniest, one of the funniest videos, probably. Uh, one of YouTube's most hilarious videos, like a Halloween party with people shit faced singing karaoke, real bad, and maybe Anakin Skywalker and Austin Powers sing "Under Pressure" by Queen and David Bowie in Austin, Texas Halloween party. Yeah, that would have went viral probably. But so I look at Anakin after we finish, and I think I'm just some like amazing singer at the time because I'm singing a lot to different bands, and I'm going to see a lot of bands. I'm listening to a lot of music, so I think I'm a great singer and all this shit. And plus, I used to be in choir back in middle school and stuff, and so I've been singing ever since. Choir in middle school. So I looked at Anakin and I'm like, "Hey man, was that good? And did we do a good job?" And he's like, "No." He had like dread in his voice and stuff. I was like, "Didn't?" Because my drunk ass, I thought we just sang like the most epic rendition of Queen, David Bowie, "Under Pressure," like that's ever been sang in public. And he just totally shot it down. He was like, "No, you were just wasted. You thought it was great, but it really sucked." I would have loved to hear me like sloppy drunk at 25. I wish somebody had a video of that, but they didn't have smartphones, so they didn't have YouTube back then, which is kind of a blessing, but it's kind of a curse as well, I guess, from a certain perspective. All right, this motherfucker was a pain in the butthole. All right, give me your shit. Yeah, I'll never forget that girl because it was like one of the hottest girls I'd ever seen, and she was in a Yankee Doodle Dandy outfit. Yankee Doodle Dandy is just like you know the song, but it's Yankee Doodle Dandy is like a patriotic, like an old like way to say somebody's patriotic, and she was somebody who dresses up in like red, white, and blue, the American colors. I think it's in. Yeah, so the experiment was when was Mega Millions going to play the Mega Ball 4? And so that was basically the entire experiment. When are they going to do it? Are they going to keep screwing around and not doing it? Or eventually are they going to bite the bullet and do it? Yeah. Is it finally going to come up in the matrix in the sequence? Or will it be elusive again tonight? So I guess I'll know if the I don't know. I do have a feeling that the Mega Millions is going to go up to $1 billion. I don't know. I just have some funny feeling in my, you know. I'd be shocked if I won it tonight in Texas. And I'm in Hateno. They don't have the ferry in Hateno. It's in Kakariko Village. Yeah. Yankee Doodle Dandy doo da doo da. Is that the song for it? Yankee Doodle oh the doo da day do 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 or something. It's some old song, Yankee Doodle Dandy or something. Yeah. Yeah, they have the top hat, Yankee Doodle Dandy, and that's some of the accoutrement is that people dress up. Oh yeah, they have the girls. I guess that's what she was. Oh okay, they weren't really like. Oh the guys were. Oh they have the stars and stripes too. Yeah, Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh they have this. They have a restaurant called Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh my god, they have like chicken tenders. Oh shit, that looks awesome, dude. They have fries and chicken tenders and man, they have fried chicken. Where's this place at? Yankee Doodle Dandy. What man? Oh, it's New York. New York City is where they have Yankee Doodle Dandy. Okay. Wow. Yeah, the Yankee Doodle Dandy in New York City. That shit looks good, dude. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Why do you care about this? Man, I have a photographic memory. I have to care about everything. That's quite a burden, though. I don't like it, but yeah, if you have a photographic eidetic memory, you have to de facto care about everything. But yeah, I like the way that Yankee Doodle Dandy sounds because it sounds stupid. But plus, I know it just because that girl was sexy as hell back at that Halloween party 20 years ago. Yeah. Where is she now? She might still be in Austin, maybe not. I think she's married, and I think she's married, and she is probably has 2 or 3 kids or something, and she's a mommy. That's what I think. I think she's a suburban mom right now with like 2 or 3 kids. Because there is no way she wasn't getting pregnant looking like that. Yankee Doodle Doo. Do 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 do. Happy Halloween. Why was she wearing Yankee Doodle Dandy on Halloween? Well, it's not really like a monster. I guess you know what. There's no rules to Halloween costume that you have to wear something that's monster related. You could be any character. So she could have been Betty Boop. She could have been fucking Olive Oil. Who knows? I mean, yeah, there's no limits on what character you could be. She could have been whatever. It's surprising to see a Yankee Doodle Dandy at a Halloween party, though. It really is. Whether it's a guy or a girl, I just was thankful that there was a girl because she was really hot and she had sexy legs and she was in a short mini skirt and shit. Nice ass, nice tits. You know, it was pretty much happening. Without doubt. Hmm. Yeah. What? Kakariko Village. Hmm. Okay, so where is the ferry? The Great Ferry, then? Oh, the Great Fairy Fountain is, man, it's right over there. No, it wasn't that I'm a bad singer or anything. I'm not a bad singer. I know everybody, like, I really genuinely am not a bad singer. It's just at that time, I think I'd rolled to that party, that Halloween party too early, started hitting some of Hooters liquor like way too early. So, like, by the time 4 in the morning rolled around, I couldn't sing a note, because I was trashed. I mean, you can still sing while you're trashed, but it's like, you know, precarious, especially if you're on that liquor, boy, on the liquor. Yeah, especially when you're on the liquor, on that liquor. You watch out for that liquor, boy. Liquor. Better watch out for that liquor. Okay, where's that fairy fountain at? No. Get it down. Oh, there it is. Mentos, the fresh maker. Mentos for life. The 1990s commercials. Yeah, they're still doing like jingles in the 1990s, like silly jingles, because it was like usually if you live in a happy time, you'll see like happy commercials. Oh, I got everything enhanced out. Really? Oh, that's full enhanced. He can still kick my ass that much. Fudge. Oh, dude. Can you imagine a woman that was like that big? You're like in between her titties or something. Like she had like tits that big. You'd be like, what? Like enhance my pants. Dang, I didn't even get any tit. Mm. Yeah. Well, I'm glad Phil's old friend Brian still helps him out. He's 92, and his next door neighbor Sylvia isn't always reliable because she has a lot of health problems. So Phil's had 2 strokes, but he's going to try to live independently. But um, yeah, I don't think he wants to at least live with the facade that he's independent, an independent man. I think he wants to live. I think that's what he's striving for. Like he doesn't want to have to go to a nursing home, and I guess if he goes to a nursing home, he would feel personally humiliated that he was a failure, and he would just be in the nursing home in the bed with the nurses, and he wouldn't be able to do anything really or go anywhere. He'd just be stuck at this nursing home, like time to get your dinner, and kind of like almost being in a mental facility or a hospital. It wouldn't be very fun. So not as fun as the real world, quote unquote, could be. Yeah. So. Ooh. Mm, ooh. Yeah. what's like, since it is Halloween, I guess it would be cool to talk about some scary movies. Last night I talked about the Night of the Creeps. Tonight I'm going to go ahead and talk about Dee Snider from We're Not Gonna Take It from Twisted Sister. Decides to do a horror movie, and the guy is already like a butt ugly guy, so him playing a creep is like, pretty easy. So all right, so Dee Snider decides to be in this movie called Strange. He's in this movie called Strangeland, where he's a internet serial killer predator, and his online name is Captain Howdy. That's right, Captain Howdy. And so at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, if you want to watch Strangeland, then now's your time to, uh, you know, lower the microphone or whatever. It's time to mute the microphone if you don't want to hear what happens in Strangeland, like the funniest part. The movie is your basic, like internet predator, like some guy trying to talk to underage kids. It's like your basic, like, scary movie. He's Captain Howdy, and he's trying to uh, get vulnerable teenagers to meet him. And he pretends like he's a young guy, like he's like 14 years old or something. So he can get girls, so he can get young children, in his spider web, and I guess sexually abuse or kill him, or maybe he just kills them. I don't know what he does, but I know he at least tortures and kill. I think he tortures and kills them. He might rape them too. But anyways, so the cops are looking for Captain Howdy in his house, and like at the ending, and all the cops are coming in. They all have their guns and everything, and they use his real name, which is like, sir, William Johnson, come out. They're like, William Johnson, we're here. We have our arrest warrant. You know, put your hands up and come out. And then he's like, Dee Snider. He's like, my name is not William Johnson. Call me fucking Captain Howdy. And I was like, me and my friend were like laughing our asses off. It's like, is it worth sitting through the whole movie just for that one part? No, it's not. But it was funny when it came. Strangeland was entertaining, though. I'll give Dee Snider that. So, Strangeland. Ooh. Ugh. Ooh. Gonna get some Nightendo, some Chilloween. Gonna have some Melloween. Melloween. I'm gonna try to have it. Alright. Now ready to roll. Welcome to the team. Ooh. Call me fucking Captain Howdy. Call me fucking Captain Howdy. So it's like the cops are like entering the building that he's in. They're like, come out now. William Robinson, get your hands up. You got a warrant for your arrest. And then he's like, and he's on the perch of the building, and he's like, my name is William Robinson. Call me motherfucking Captain Howdy. Yeah. Call me Howdy. Getting rowdy. Yeah, I didn't finish. So a lot of the people had buyer's remorse if they voted for Barack Hussein Obama by the time the 2012 election came around. But for some reason, I don't know if it was the Illuminati, again, they ran a weak candidate against, on the Republican side, against Barack Hussein Obama. So Barack Hussein Obama did not have to face a Trump. He did not have to face a Ronald Reagan. He did not have to face an Abraham Lincoln. He did not have to face a really, really, really strong Republican, a legendary Republican. He had to face an old fart and a rhino Republican in name only, Mitt Romney from Utah. So I just went ahead and voted for Mitt Romney in 2012, hoping somehow that Obama would be hopefully a one-term president, but unfortunately he wasn't. So I tried though. I tried. All right. So I repented from the Obama after I got hoodwinked by that shit, by the hope and change garbage and all that, because I was young and naive. So then, so 2016, 2020, 2024, I voted all for Donald John Trump. Boom, bada boom, bada boom. It didn't matter in the 2020 election because the Democrats and Joe Biden stole it with their Democrat cronies and the Chinese Communist plague and all that. So that was a stolen, fraudulent election. Yeah. I don't know if any other American history was stolen or rigged to the extent that the 2020 election was, because I don't think any other election in American history was rigged to that degree, because it had the collusion of big tech, social media, Google Alphabet, YouTube, Meta, Facebook platforms, Twitter with Jack Dorsey, CNN, the legacy media, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, and CBS, ABC, and NBC. So it was the if it wasn't stolen or rigged Dominion voting machines as well, a lot of shenanigans in the 2020 election. Many shenanigans, and the suppression of free speech, mail-in ballots, the suppression of the first 5 of the the Bill of Rights or the First Amendment of the Constitution, which is the right to a free press. You don't have a free press if it's a one-party state, if it's like a Russian state propaganda arm like the Democrat Party. So you really don't have a press that represents the people. Number two, uh, you can't. There's COVID-19 Chinese plague, so conveniently you can't. You don't have a right to assemble and discuss what's happening. Um, if you can't assemble, then you can't go worship in your house of the Lord and go worship your God. So yeah, because every single liberty in the First Amendment of the Constitution flows into the others. Yeah, because if you can't assemble, then you can't go to church because there's a plague. You don't have a free press if it's a state-controlled propaganda arm. You don't have um, the right to petition the government. The right to assemble peaceably is how it's stated. But, um, it's the right to petition the government for the redress of grievances. Uh, yeah. Okay. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Boom. So the freedom of speech itself was taken away because these big tech companies and oligarchies suppressed people's right to question the 2020 election or call things misinformation or disinformation. So in that way, social media, big tech companies were compliant with the Democrat Party and the U.S. government. Um, so they were the proxies controlling information to control ideas to thereby control the American public. Yeah, so I mean, the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, it flows into every single freedom in the U.S. Constitution flows from one another, especially the First Amendment. So if you have a hostile party like the Democrat Party that takes over and holds American people hostage, they will use a crisis to suspend the First and Second Amendments of the Constitution The freedom, well, yeah, just the 1A and the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. They will take away those in the name of a crisis at the drop of a hat, and especially before an election that they can't afford to lose because they're evil bastards. Yeah. We gonna go watch some movies or something? Yeah, I think it might be time for a video game. I mean, yeah, I know. I was like, okay, so one of the five core pillars of the First Amendment is freedom of speech itself. I guess that's kind of self-evident, but sometimes I forget that that's the core fundamental right in and of itself, which is the freedom of speech, besides all the other things. So I guess the best thing I can gather from this is that, in terms of the U.S. Constitution, is that liberty flows and tyranny retracts or blocks. So liberty flows like electricity, like water, and tyranny is like a bunch of roadblocks. It's static. It's overregulation and bureaucracy and red tape and totalitarian authoritarianism, communism and socialism. Tyranny says we cannot have freedom and liberty and individuals, we have to have slaves. Certainly a lot of wizards around here. A wizard arrives precisely when he means to. Young Baggins. So the freedom of speech was taken away by the Biden Harris proxy, the Democrat Party's proxy, which was social media tech giants, tech corporations, to police information for the Democrat Party, for the Biden Harris administration. The plague was to prevent anybody from talking about that because you can't. There's a Chinese plague from Wuhan Virology Institute, so you can't talk about the virus COVID-19, its origins, its purpose, who released it, because you can't assemble your people because you got to stay 6 feet distance away from everybody because those are the rules that the World Health Organization, mostly controlled by China, were setting for the whole world. Yeah, it's all about that global domination. So you can't go to church and exercise your freedom of religion. If you can't assemble. Uh, oh my gosh, this is 100. Dang, this Lionel Crusher is like is op. It's totally maxed out. Op is just slang for opulence, but you probably do that. Maybe if you don't know some of this shorthand internet slang, it's okay. I don't really speak it that much. Yeah. Mm. Look at that over there. Amazing. Okay, let's go check that out. We have a skull cave, which has a farmable area. Let's go do that. All right, getting closer. Ready to drop this bomb, dog. Let's do it. I love that. That's beautiful. This is what they call a discovery. Yeah. Got my discovery. But a jelly tried to get me, boy. Thunderstorm rod, dog. We gotta get that, dude. That's a rare find right there. Gotta get the thunderstorm rod, dog. We don't really need the meteor rod or the fire rod. It's kind of a crappy. Now that's a rod right there, dude. Now this is gonna be dope. Yeah. So recognize. Went to the skull cave. Ooh. Went to the skull cave. Oh, dude. All right. People probably having their main Halloween parties tonight. You know, people that partied on Thursday, that was kind of, premature. Like we did. Kind of have an early party. Early party. Early party. And I gang up on me, boys. Better recognize, dog. Because those Octo Rocks gonna clean their clocks. I'll see you at the docks. Oh. Did you even know that monster was there? You got the Crenell Hill Stone Talus. My boy coming after me. My boy. Got some of the green boys, huh? Coming at me like he's token weed. Man, he's busting my ass, dog. What is it? You know what we're gonna do? Show these boys what's up, no? Coming at you like Thor, dog. Bringing that lightning. I'm gonna hit you like Thor, dog. Cause I'm like Thor, dog. You know, you know, you know what's up, dog. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know what up, dog. Uh, going barbarian. Mm. Cause my call's like a clarion. I like hot librarians. I like those Alpha Centaurians. What? Cause
Your volley scale is now ready.
what I needed was a new barbecue. Need a new barbecue. What? Oh, happy Halloween. Hopefully it's not a Halloween unless it's the band. But hope everybody had a great Halloween. Mine's just kind of, you know, it's not like it's it's not like if you're in your 40s, you know that it's like when you're in your 20s, like it's just easier to roll into a party. You know what I mean? Like it's so easy to get invited to one. Like it seems guys have less friends when they're in their 40s and 50s and 60s, and it just seems lonelier. Like, there you can't mobilize like you did when you were younger because everybody realizes that they're running out of time in an immortal time frame. So, unfortunately. So, anyways, it's neither here nor there. That's what it is. What it is, and all those things. You know, I'll be back up on the barbecue later. Have a nice start to the Halloween weekend. Because even though Halloween is over, the Halloween weekend has only begun.